I'm Carl Fisher. I'm previously non-exec chairman at Carter Accommodation Limited. Carter is a portable building rental business that specialises in complex modular buildings. They also sell and they also rent toilets as well. I was chairman of Carter for 3 years prior to Connection Capital being involved, and I worked with Dave Carter, who was the founder, and Darren Arnold, who was the CEO, who sadly is no longer with us, for 3 years to double their business in profitability in order to create a profitable, successful exit for the founder, which we did in 2015, which was when Connection Capital came along as the successful party for the next stage of their journey. We appointed corporate finance advisors and we went through a proper competitive process, and after discounting a couple of trade players, it came down to Connection versus one of the big PE houses, which we met and presented to, and during that process Connection came out as the winner. I think having got Dave and Darren comfortable with private equity generally, the difference between Connection and the larger PE house was like chalk and cheese. So the guys at Connection were very personable, and the way that funds are raised for individual deals felt much more personable, and it felt like the guys from Connection were personally invested in this business, which is what they are. That compared with the larger corporate, it was very corporate. We felt like we were one of a number. You know, they're doing many multiple deals every month, and we felt like we were just one of those. The most significant thing by a mile was Connection's ability to partner with lenders to provide the substantial sums of money we needed. I mean, over 5 years, we invested £30 million in CapEx. You can't do that as a small business. You simply can't raise those kinds of sums of money. In addition to that, you know, private equity generally brings a new level of expertise to the board team. It brings probably a raising of the bar when it comes to recruiting top people. Success of PE-backed companies is down to the people that they have in the senior team, and PE are great at knowing what great is. So through interviewing processes and paying, you know, top dollar for good people, you end up with the best people, and that's the secret to delivering a great outcome with a PE-backed business. So I've probably worked with 4 or 5 different PE firms in the past, and I like the way that Connection raised their money, which is on a deal-by-deal basis. There is no fund, there's no pressure to exit a business because you're coming towards the end of a fund. So each business is run and managed in its own right through to a time period which is appropriate for that business. The personalities within Connection, they're nice people. They're nice people who work with you when times are great, and they work collaboratively with you when things don't go well. And at Carter, we had a massively successful exit, but we had a period of 18 months which was very difficult. And you know, the collaborative working, rather than beating with a stick, is hugely important, and that's really what makes the difference. So we found that our turnover was growing really quickly, but our costs and our operational efficiency were growing equally as quickly. We became cash negative for a period of about 18 months, and it looked really difficult for a period of time. Through getting the right people on board, we got on top of those operational efficiencies, but we did have to wind back the CapEx for that period of time. But Connection were there helping and supporting through that difficult time. And that made a massive difference. I think the biggest thing was really building the calibre of the top team to be able to deal with that growth. And over the 8-year period, you know, the profitability of the business went from 1 million to nearly 8 million. The workforce went from 25 to 160. You know, the numbers are huge. In fact, by the time we exited, we were the 5th biggest portable building rental company in the UK, which is an incredible story from very, very small and humble beginnings. Connection Capital have the credibility and the access to the whole range of corporate finance houses, from the smallest boutiques to the absolute biggest. And we ended up working with a very, very serious global player, which cost on paper a lot of money, but delivered a kind of exit that you simply couldn't do as an SME or possibly even a bigger business. So Connection have the experience to bring those types of people on board and to help manage the beauty parade that you go through. Management don't have that experience. You know, they may never have done that kind of thing before in their life. And by appointing the right partner and appointing the right advisors around that process, we ended up with a really slick process and a very successful outcome for shareholders and management. If you look at the facts and look at the reality, private equity brings an alignment of interests of shareholders and management that you simply don't get anywhere else. That's why I work with private equity. I like that alignment. I like that working towards the same goal. I think the good stuff that comes with private equity in terms of working with experienced people who will help you grow your business, provide the capital, help you recruit the best people to deliver headcount growth and successful exits. Management teams need to delve into that stuff in more detail. Talk to people who have been through this process, both good and not so good. Find out what really happens, because I think private equity sometimes is shrouded in a bit of fog. But when you get behind that, I think management teams will be really pleasantly surprised with what goes on and how happy management and owners feel when they come out of a PE exit in the end.